Welcome back. You're listening to the Flow Friday Sports Show on Flow FM, and Cricket Albury-Wodonga, the Hume branch to be exact, is our next stop. Steve Bennett is on the line with me to tell us everything from another big weekend of action. How are you, Steve?
Yeah, good, thanks, Dan. Just getting over the heat from the weekend and enjoying a cooler day today.
Yeah, a bit of a scorcher out there on Saturday. Hopefully everyone had their long sleeves and the broad brim hats and plenty of sunblock on.
Yeah, there was an abundance of all of those things and some extra drinks breaks, and everyone seemed to get through okay. We're used to the hot weather up here, but we're just not used to it this year.
Yes, the first really hot day of the cricket season, so glad everyone got through. And let's have a look at the winners from the weekend, and we'll have a look at the losers as well as we go through game by game. And the first one we'll look at is Walla Walla with a 35-run win over Osborne. They were 7 for 205, a very good score from their 40 overs, and Osborne 8 for 170, a very good score themselves, but not good enough.
Yeah, this was top of the table, two undefeated sides, and Waller obviously got off to a bit of a flyer. They can be very aggressive with the bat. Osborne just down slightly on troops, probably missing an extra bowler, but that's their problem, as they say. You can only play what's in front of you, and Waller did very well. Chris Hutchinson making 60 and Joel Merkel 39, following up his 100 from last week. So, yeah, that's a pretty formidable total.
It's a very formidable total. You won't lose too many games where you're putting up 205, but you won't lose too many where you're scoring 170 off 40 overs either. And it was a very good game for Tom Howard with the bat, 69 not out. Carried his team to an extent there.
Yeah, he did. Tom's only a young player, 19, and he's I think that's back-to-back half centuries for him. So he's really coming into some form with the bat. He's the team's keeper. And Nick Madden made 30 with the bat, which I was speaking to someone from Waller, hit three of the biggest sixes they've ever seen down there, including one lost ball. It was. They might have fallen short, but it sounds like it was an entertaining innings anyway from the Osborne boys.
So no 6 and out rules for a lost ball?
I think you should be made to go and look for it yourself.
Oh, I couldn't agree more. Could not agree more. You can't be wasting equipment like that. But that is a very good effort. Nevertheless, that will... I'm sure the legend of those sixes will sort of grow over time, and before you know it, all 3 of the balls will have been lost, and they were 200-metre hits. But, we'll add a bit of mayo to those stories as time goes on. Let's get into our next game. Colcan got the win over Rand, not easily in the end, but 4 for 159 from their 29 overs. Rand, 7 for 150 from their 37.
Yeah, Rand, a bit of an improved showing from the week before, where they were defeated heavily against Osborne, making 150 in their batting first. Vince Chappie taking 3 for 18 for the visitors. Colcan, 4 for 159 with Rory Jenkins. He was the record ball last week, and this week backed it up with 47, and Captain Vince Chappie getting 32 runs, and they won that with 10 overs to spare. So Colcan has had a slow start to the season, but that's their second win in a row now, so they're on the up.
Captain Vince Chappie with 3 for 18 with the ball off 7 overs as well. Very good figures there, and a very good win for Colcan. And Brock Burham, 7 for 135 off just under 34 overs, took down Holbrook, who were all out for 134. So a good effort by Brock Burham, only 3 wickets left in hand during that chase.
Yeah, Holbrook definitely showing signs of improvement. They improve every game they play. They scored 134. Aidan Cox and Ben Parker, both those lads came out of the under-16s at Holbrook only a year or two ago, so it's great to see them putting some runs together. Trent Ianson from Brock Burham, who's the newly appointed rep captain for the league, taking 4 for 10. And, Brock Burham obviously didn't have it their own way completely, losing 7 wickets on the way to the score. But, Mitch Kajitsky and Trent Ianson again, both getting those scores, getting them home.
Trent Ianson, 4 for 10 with 4 maidens. They are unbelievable figures. Economy of 1.39. And Darcy Ianson with the big wicket of Jet Liddell as well. And Jet's been going along pretty well, but no runs off 2 bowls in this one. Darcy Ianson with the quick wicket of the star opening batsman.
Yeah, and it would have been quick too. Darcy sends them down for sure, and sometimes overshadows his brother Trent. But Trent's really put together a couple of really good games in the last few weeks, and some really good all-round efforts from him. So yeah, things are looking good for Brock Burham.
Very good brotherly duo there, the Iansons. Let's move on to Henty getting a good win over the Rock-Huron Creek. And the Rock-Huron Creek, 176 with only 5 wickets down in their 40 overs, a pretty good score. But Henty got there with 6 wickets in hand and 6 overs to spare. So that is a really good innings from Henty. And what about big Todd Hannam, 104 not out after coming in just 2 bowls into the innings and carried his bat the rest of the way. That is a sensational knock.
Yeah, second centurion in a row for the Rock-Huron Creek with Oscar Willison's 100 last week. So, the Rock, it's a bit stiff when one of your blokes scores 100 and you still go down, but that's happened to them 2 weeks running. So they'll be certainly smarting from that and ready to go this week. But Henty, Shannon Turlick with 89 not out, just sort of guiding the home side home. Shannon's scored a lot of runs over a few years. He's just been through a bit of a lean patch, but he started this season very well, and a lot of sides will be nervous in approaching Henty with Shannon back in form with the bat. So, yeah, good win for Henty.
Well, 89 not out off only 81 deliveries as well. Opened and carried his bat the whole way. Anytime you're scoring nearly 100 runs that quickly, you're going to be very hard to beat. And it's easy to see why Henty were able to put up a winning score with 6 overs still to spare. So that rounds out the action from the firsts over the weekend. We'll just take a quick look at the ladder as Walla Walla stayed undefeated with their win on the weekend. Osborne dropping their first game 4-1. Brock Burham and Henty at 3-2, the Rock-Huron Creek and Culcairn at 2-3. So a bit of a logjam in the middle of the ladder there. Rand 1-4 and Holbrook still searching for their win on the season. So things are getting pretty tight there in the ladder, but we are starting to see a bit of separation at the top.
We are, yeah. We've got a couple of weeks, 2 or 3 weeks to go before we have the break for Christmas. So I'll be interested to see if those teams at the lower end can close that gap in the next couple of weeks. I think a few of them will, should be able to make a bit of a move. It's fairly compressed. It'll be interesting to see what happens in the next few games.
And plenty of action in the second grade as well. Walla Walla getting a good win, 4 for 166, very good total. And Osborne, 9 for 94 off 31 overs, not quite able to get there against Walla Walla.
Yeah, yep. This was the game that I played in. We were outplayed by Walla. It was very hot. We're down on troops, but everybody is this time of year, and Walla played very well. They batted well and certainly fielded and bowled very well to restrict us. So, they did well.
A little bit modest there, Steve. 17 not out with a couple of 4s, batting at number 9. That's a sensational effort.
Oh, look, the bowling was very kind, Dan.
No, I think you're being modest. That is a very good effort from yourself, so well done for making those runs, but a very good win for Walla Walla getting the last laugh. Holbrook went down to Brock Burham. Brock Burham able to chase down their total in 19 overs, 6 for 106. Holbrook were all out for 97.
Yeah, Holbrook, they're a very young side this year, and a lot of juniors playing. It looks like they're getting to a point where they're putting up competitive scores. Brock Burham have got some big hitters. Like any second grade side, if you can get a couple of wickets early, there's fragility there, but they've done well and taken the win there without too much trouble by the looks of it.
And Lockhart had Henty all out for 69, and they chased down that score 3 for 70 to win in just 18 overs. Yeah,
Lockhart looking a bit ominous. They're back from the A grade and yet to be defeated. So they look like they may be going to be setting the pace at this stage of the season anyway.
Lockhart undefeated on top of the ladder, 4-0. Henty and Culcairn at 4-1. Osborne 3-2. Walla Walla 2-1. Brock Burham 2-3. Oaklands and Holbrook both still searching for their first win. Oakland's 0-2. Holbrook 0-5. We know there's been some trouble with forfeits and players having to prioritise harvest, but good to see that most games are getting played in the second grade.
Yeah, absolutely. And, harvest is in full swing now. they're still doing canola, as far as I know, and I think then they move on to barley next. So they're going to be there's going to be a lot of very busy farmers over here over the next month or so.
No doubt about that. Round 6 action in the first. Osborne take on Henty. Osborne, the home team there. The Rock-Huron Creek hosting Brockburrum. Culcairn hosting Walla Walla. Holbrook hosting Rand. And in the seconds, Osborne and Henty playing at Lockhart Football Ground. Brockburrum hosting Lockhart. Walla Walla hosting Culcairn. And Oaklands hosting Holbrook. Steve, the big question, as it is every week, have you got the call up yet?
Not yet. So who knows? Who knows? Things change late in B-grade cricket.
Well, after the boost to your batting average last weekend, I'm sure they'll be very, very keen to have you back. And I'd be bumping you up the order if I was in charge, but hey, that's just me.
Well, I'm happy to look at 8.
Oh, I was thinking 3 or 4, maybe the Ricky Ponting, Steve Smith sort of position, but we'll settle for 8, the best of the bowlers. Steve, we better leave things there. Thank you very much for checking in again, as per usual. Always great to chat with you. All the best for this weekend to yourself and to everyone else playing cricket.
Cheers, Dan. Thanks a lot.